Welcome to EIPIP Meeting 64. I have shared agenda in chat. I have tried to list items as per our general discussion that is there in Discord channel and also in the EIPS GitHub repository. So the first item for discussion today is discuss guidelines for requires and changes in EIP process and EIP1. So let me quickly give a little background about why requires. So requires came across in one of the issues that we were reviewing yesterday in EIP editor's office hour, and there was this question that sometimes authors get confused, like what to put in EIP's requires section, like which particular EIP should be added as required and when it is that it is mandatory to be added as requires. So yeah, I'll be curious to hear thoughts from EIP editors. I know Sam has already shared some, but Sam, if you would like to summarize a little bit more here, and then we can probably take some input from Matt.
Sure. So the requires header, there are two kind of opposing viewpoints on it. The viewpoint that I have is that the requires header is where you list EIPs that you have to read before you can understand or implement the current EIP. And the other camp is that the requires header should list all EIPs that you mention in your EIP, whether or not they are just context or are required reading.
Awesome. So it looks like there are two major points. So if any proposal is needed just to understand, to work on the new proposal as an EIP, that can be, and another one, if there is any mention of it, like any kind of dependency on the other proposal. Matt, I wonder if you have different thoughts or if you would like to add any other point that an author should consider while adding proposals to EIP's required section.
What does EIP1 say?
That's a very good point.
Sorry, I'm frothing some milk. Can't look at it at this exact moment.
It says EIPs may have a requires header indicating the EIP numbers that this EIP depends on.
I mean, we can be like pedantic on the wording, or we can just, elaborate more, but I feel like depends is what Sam is saying. Like you have to understand this EIP to implement the EIP that is listed as required, or like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure if understanding is the bar. I think like it has to utilize something from that EIP, whether it's like a concept or like a specific technical aspect of it. I don't think that we should be listing the EIPs that are just mentioned.
This is anyway an optional field, like an author can add or not add. But yeah, if we go by the present description in EIP1, it looks more like EIPs on which it is dependent.
Well, the optional part of that is we don't have very good granularity. Like it's an optional field, but it should be required if the EIP actually does depend on another EIP.
Oh, that makes sense. Sorry about the confusion. Thank you for clarifying. So I hope that will be documented in notes for this meeting. So going forward, if there is this kind of confusion, we can probably refer it to it. And just for general people listening to this call, whatever is documented in EIP1 is correct, and that's what it literally means. So please try to follow that. All right. The next one here is changes in EIP process and EIP1. So in the last meeting, we were discussing about some changes, and the pull request number was 5463. However, it seemed like it was not given enough time for discussion. So the pull request is reopened with a new number, that is 5533. And yeah, if we can probably discuss on general guidelines. However, I tried to document some of the decisions from the past EIP editors meeting in the apprentice handbook, but we can have a general guideline for people to refer to. Sam, I know you have reopened the pull request. If you would like to maybe provide a brief intro of that, and we can probably discuss it.
Oh, yeah. So the previous pull request added an adoptable field, and so the adoptable field is kind of like a signal to editors that says if the author isn't responsive, we are allowed or encouraged to assign it to a new author at our discretion. It's not my proposal. I kind of on the fence about it, like I am with a lot of these things. I think it's a little bit extra to add this field. You can just make a new EIP and, you know, make yourself the author on it. Where on the other hand, it's nice to be able to like ensure some continuity between EIP numbers and yeah, so you know, I'm a little torn on it, and it was my bad for merging the first PR without getting rough consensus among editors, so I reverted it and opened this new one to discuss. Since PandaPip isn't here, I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to debate very well.
That is right. I totally understand that. I think in general, like it's my understanding that in general we can or we should keep any discussion open for at least 2 EIPIP meetings, so we get to share the information with the EIP editors, because sometimes some of the editors may miss the discussion. So yeah. Matt, if you have anything to add on this particular proposal, the adoptable one, or in general, you want to talk anything about the process?
I just think that we need to leave things open for a fairly long time if editors disagree. Definitely for a couple EIP meetings, so we should discuss it synchronously if there's disagreement before merging, and I mean just generally waiting for, you know, mostly consensus among the editors, or at least the editors who are active. And I don't think that we should have the adoptable field. So that's my take.
Yeah, one other thing that I would like to make a mention of, generally in case of any changes to EIP1, earlier we were having like 2 editors approval, but now we have like around 5 editors available. So it will be nice to have minimum 3 editors on board and get that approval done. I'm not sure if this is already added in the bot and it is taken care of, but if not, I think that would be a good idea.
There's also like a general courtesy, I think, that we haven't merged too many things in the past where editors disagreed, even if we had 2 editors, unless the editor who disagreed said, I'm not going to block this. Like there does seem to be a bit of veto power amongst single editors if they think a change is bad. I don't want to like encode that, but I think that it's like a reasonable courtesy to not just merge things after 2, even if somebody has already said they're pretty against it.
Yeah, that was entirely my bad. Like it's entirely my fault. Like PandaPip has been adding EIPs to a manual merge like list because some of them require it, and I didn't realize that we didn't have consensus on this one. So that's entirely my bad.
It's all, I mean, it's all good. It happens. There's a lot of EIPs to go through.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying I don't think, you know, the process is wrong. I think I just implemented it incorrectly.
Yeah, but it's not just you, because I think PandaPip has also merged a few things recently that didn't really have everybody's agreement, or like didn't go through the correct process, and so it's useful just to say again.
Yeah, in general, I have noticed a huge spike in number of commits going on in the repository. And if we look into the Insight, EIP's Insight report that I generally share, it's like, I don't know, maybe over 20 times or close to 30 times. I don't know. It's very, very high, which is not a bad thing because we are trying to improve process. But I feel like for certain decisions, which is like not that easy, and we definitely should have consensus of EIP editors. We can probably wait for some time and give it enough time for EIP editors to provide feedback. Unfortunately, EIPIP is not here. We would love to hear what he thinks about it and probably be considerate in future in merging all these proposals.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, the stuff that EIPIP has been adding. I think we haven't had someone who like understands the process and is able to do as much work in the CI as he's been able to do. So it's great, but I'm like getting worried that everything is changing and we can end up in a situation where, you know, if EIPIP stops editing, then we don't understand how some of the things work. Whereas like in the past, people like the editors have sort of known, or like the thing is so old that we've been working with it for years.
You know, as a newer editor, I never had any idea how the build system works, so this is no change for me.
Okay.
But I think most of the changes have been pretty reasonable. Like I've tried to be reviewing most of them just to keep on top of them, and like it's mostly non-critical things like the labels and like some of the merge rules and those kind of things. And I think those changes are like they're not part of the core approval process. Like it doesn't matter if it has the right tag. So I think we can afford to be a little fast and loose with them. But I would like to start stabilizing the build system again and you know cut down on the number of changes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, totally there. I know a lot of things is being bot driven now. We are talking about bots and we have recently made some changes in bots as well. So we can definitely expect a lot of commits going on into the repository, which is again, not a bad thing. It's a good thing to happen. But at the same time, discussing it in these meetings or maybe able to document it somewhere else will help other people to follow along and maybe community to like follow after whenever they would like to refer it to. So yeah, that's all good. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Canopy. And yeah, thank you, Matt, for sharing your thoughts over here. All right, I think it's safe to move on to the next item. So the next item is a EIP bots related discussion, updates agreement on merging PRs and closing. Generally, I keep this item on number 3 after the GitHub issues and pull requests, but we are not getting enough time to discuss this item. So on request of Jose, this has been bumped up. We will get into the EIP's bottom issues, but before that, there is one PR, which is 5508, that is to upgrade EIP bot to EIP review. I just wanted to share it with editors. If they have any comment concern with that, it looks like it is a change for the EIP bot. So yeah, any thoughts, any comments? And if not, then probably you can check it, review the codes, and yeah, if needed merges. I wanted to just share, so this should not be blocked for a very long time. Yeah, Jose, please go ahead.
Yeah, just for curiosity, I cannot find the 5508 in the pulls, the EIP pull request. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if you just can share the link, whenever you want or can, that would be great. Thank you. I got it.
Yep, I just shared.
Cool.
This is just for attention, but other than that, Jose, did you wanted to share any update or anything in specific you wanted to discuss on this topic?
Well, just to let basically Sam know that if he has the time, I agree with EIPIP to take care of the issues 95, 63, and 34 from the EIP bot. So if I just don't want to, that was something that I was briefly talking to him. I just don't want to get into something that someone else is working and suddenly, you know. So if you have the time, the times, I really appreciate that you take a look in the issues and.
Yeah, which one's, sorry, you're on the EIP bot repository. You said 93.
No, 95, 63, and 34.
Okay, 95. Sorry, I'll just open these up now and I'll take a look at them.
That's okay. Thank you.
95, 63, and what was the last one?
34.
34. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'll take a look at those today.
Thank you. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. That's it from my side.
Very well. Thank you so much. I think that also covers the second point, which was related to issues and pull requests. Moving on, this is from general GitHub issues and pull request. There were two issues added in the past two weeks. One is make EIP's website a PWA. It's a proposal by Panda Peep and he wants to volunteer. Unfortunately, there is no plan shared, but yeah, wondering if anyone has any comment. If not, I think
What
I
was
have
it?
added.
PWA?
Yeah, issue number is 5608. Let me share the link here.
What does PWA stand for?
Progressive web application, I think.
I think we shouldn't do that.
I don't think we need to. Like, if you want to browse it offline, just download the repo.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I mean, in a perfect world, it would be cool, but at the same time, again, I don't want to add more things that can break that we have to fix.
That's a fair point. All right. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring it up because we have mentioned that we will be talking about issues which are there. It's good to collect some thoughts. On a separate note, I have shared it in the past as well, and I want to mention it again, that I have put together a small team of aspiring Ethereum developers. Like, they are not developers as of now, they are aspiring developers, to create a dashboard for EIP's chart, but that is at present would not be a part of EIP's GitHub repository. However, this is an experiment. I'm trying to do it on a different GitHub. Once it's successful, I will like to come back and propose it. If people find it interesting, we can probably add it with less maintenance, of course. And yeah, if anyone has any suggestions on any other charts or dashboards that you would like to see on top of whatever is already existing in EIP's Insight HackMD, please share it with me. I will try to have that incorporated. The next issue here is advocate for EIP editors to clearly explain the current external policy to new authors. I know this is like repetitive. We have discussed about it multiple times, and the proposer is also not on the call, but anything that any of the EIP editors would like to mention again on external link policies.
I mean, it's in EIP1. Links to external authors should not be included. External resources may disappear, move, or change unexpectedly. I think that covers the current external links policy pretty well. Maybe we should be more polite when we're expressing it in PRs, but that is pretty clear.
Right.
Well,
So
it actually says they should not be in the EIP.
Yeah, that's what I said. Should not.
But I don't think that's that clear though. Like, there's no definition of should. Like, that seems like it's up to the editor to decide, but the system does not allow you to have links.
Yeah, without like overriding EIPW.
Yeah, but if you override EW, then like it's not a one and done. Like every time they edit EIP now, they have to have it written.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I have an issue open on EIPW for somehow giving like EIP editors the ability to override specific errors. I haven't really thought about how to do that yet. So
Sure.
Do you have the number handy, Sam? Maybe we can try to reach out to community if anyone is interested taking a look at it. Maybe it's
well,
a pull request.
it's not specified yet.
Okay.
Like here, I'll get the link here. It's
Yeah, I mean, and that would be nice. We can probably share it in our next Canada's calls as well. If anyone is interested to make contribution, they would be there. But yeah, summarizing this current external link policy, the policy is same as that is listed on EIP 1 and there is no change. So please follow what is listed there.
We can definitely expand it though. Like, do we want to say something more like, you know, unless there's very specific circumstances, or we can definitely be more clear about it.
All right, I think in that case, maybe a pull request with the revised words would be better. And there we can collect more thoughts.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing the issue number here. Next one is pull request. I have listed 3 pull requests. None of these are EIP related, but it looks like small changes into process and some of the internal file that is helpful. So if we can discuss this quickly, that is fine. First one is 5572. This is for fixing index HTML issue. Anyone has any objection? Maybe quickly want to take a look.
Yeah, I can go through this after the meeting.
That sounds good. So there are 3 pull requests. I'm just sharing number 5572, 5586, and 5596. If other editors may take a look, it looks like that needs some kind of approval or merging. Yeah, please feel free to do that. Next one is from the past meetings discussion continued. It is, I think, from the adoptable, yeah, 5533, and we have discussed it, so probably we can skip this one and move on to the next one, that is EIP's Insight. I am trying to open the link here quickly. So in the month of September, we have received 1 final EIP. Okay. And other than that, we have received 9 ERCs as draft, and 1, I'm so sorry about that. For some reason, my computer is lagging, and 2 EIPs in review status. So the EIP, which is in final status, is EIP 3525 semi-fungible token. Congratulations to the team for reaching out to the final status. And EIPs into review statuses are EIP 5216 and EIP 5484. Please check out the link in the agenda for details of all these EIPs. Next one is EIP Editing Office Hour. We had EIP Editing Office Hour first meeting yesterday, and the recording is added to the agenda. This was very interesting in terms of, like, this is the first time we were inviting all authors to come forward to share their questions, comments, concerns related to the EIP process or anything that they are facing in documentation of the process. We were also looking into some of the new EIPs plus the EIPs which are getting into last call or maybe in the final statuses. So if you are an author with an active proposal in the EIP's GitHub repository, and if you have questions you want to reach out to EIP editor, I think that is the best one for you to reach out to. The next meeting is planned on September 20 at 1500 UTC. You can find details on Ethereum Cat Herders Discord. So that's about.
So
Oh,
that's the new apprentice like meeting, the new name for apprentice meeting.
So-
or-
So the apprentice meeting was for people who were interested in becoming EIP editor. And obviously there would be some learning which can be useful for people interested in becoming editor, but this is generally to invite authors, EIP authors who are trying to document a proposal to make it an Ethereum standard. We are receiving, as you can see, this month only in past 7 days, we have received 9 ERCs as draft, merged as draft. So these authors, if they are facing any challenges, they are invited to reach out to us, and we will be happy to support moving their proposal towards final.
Okay, so for the YouTube channel, where you guys have the a new series of like a playlist or be the same as the apprentice?
Yeah, I remember creating it yesterday. I may have missed it, making it public, but definitely I'll do that today. So yes, there will be a new playlist. It will be, it is known as EIP Editing Office Hour, and all the meetings from this point forward will be added in that. So yeah, it will be easier for you to just follow one playlist and you can get all the meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next one is a review action items. From the previous meeting, I know we discussed about EIP number bot. I'm not sure if there is any progress on that. Anyone has any information or update on it? All right, looks like this is still open. So we will keep it that way. Just wondering if this has been added as an issue on any of the GitHub repository. Sorry, Matt, you were trying to say something. I saw you unmuted.
I know PandaPip was talking about adding it to their bot, but I'm not sure where they're at so far.
Okay, I'll take a look. And if it is not added in the EIP bot GitHub repository, I will make sure to create a new issue for this. And what license to use for EIP assets looks like, I'm blanking. Did we make any decision on this? I remember discussing this topic. Anyone remembers that?
I don't know if we made a decision yet. I think I'm kind of being stubborn about wanting other things than just CC0.
And is there any action item like anyone can help support get that thing done, or do we want to have it added in the next meeting?
I think keep it on the next meeting. It's probably a good
Okay.
idea. I know a lot of people feel strongly about this, so.
Okay, then I will move it on to the next meeting. Well, that's all looks like added on the agenda today. Anyone else want to bring anything? Looks like we are having some time. If anyone has any point to discuss, we can probably take it. If not, I think it's an early release for all editors as well. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya, and thanks for hosting.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mm.
Bye.